Joe Aribo has played a big part in Rangers winning title 55 and making the Europa League final, but it looks like the next part Joe Aribo could play will be the last part he plays, and that could be leaving Rangers to go to the Premier League. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football, bringing you all the daily Scottish football news. If there's anything worth talking about, we'll be talking about it right here, right now. And the thing we want to talk about right now, right here, is Joe Aribo, who is set to leave Rangers to go to Southampton. And Southampton, it always seems to be fucking Southampton. What is it with the Saints poaching the best players from the SPFL, Finnish Premiership, call it what you want? I'm surprised they didn't get Kieran Tierney as well. I mean, they got Wanyama from Celtic, they got Fraser Forster from Celtic, they got Van Dijk for Celtic. I'm pretty sure first time around that they got Stephen Davis from Rangers. I mean, Southampton just seem to be that. Maybe I'm wrong there, but they always seem to be the team that just sign, the best players from the old firm. And it could be another case here. This time they're wanting Joe Aribo, who is undoubtedly, I think, one of Rangers' most important players. I think we'd have to put him in the top 5 at least. You can maybe argue what order he is, but I think he is in the top 5 most crucial players to Rangers, and it looks like he could now be gone. Even if Southampton didn't want him, he's got 12 months left on his contract, so if Rangers don't cash on him this year unless he is prepared to sign a new deal, which I kind of think he isn't, because if he was wanting to stay at Rangers, would they not have wrapped this deal up by now? Would he not have had a new contract? I'm pretty sure if he's seen his future at Rangers, if he's seen him have himself having a long-term future at Rangers, I think he would already have signed a contract and extended his stay. But he hasn't done that. So that tells me that Joe Aribo will be leaving Rangers, if not this season, then definitely at the end of next season. So Rangers can't really afford to lose out on the money that they can get for Joe Aribo, because he's a great player, and they could certainly get a good deal for him. Keep in mind, they only paid $300,000 for him, and Rangers seem to have this tendency of buying players cheap and selling them on. And I tell you what, it's a good transfer model, especially for a club that doesn't have much money, and obviously they have their financial difficulties, their history, we all know that. So maybe Rangers, if they want to stay afloat, maybe that's what their future is. Maybe that's what they need to do. Find hidden gems, get them in for a cheap price, and then sell them on after a few years once they have proven themselves. But the amount Rangers seem to want is 10 million. Rangers have said they will not accept any less than a package for at least £10 million, and apparently that is also in Joe Aribo's release clause. So it sounds like they're willing to accept maybe less than 10 million up front, and then, the rest on add-ons or whatever after he plays a certain amount of appearances or games or goals or whatever. But it seems like Rangers are willing to accept a smaller amount up front as long as they get their 10 million sometime down the line. And I don't know, I mean, as good as Joe Aribo is, I think 10 million for a player in the final year of his contract for a cinched Premiership team, it would be quite a lot of money. We'll see. I mean, it's not a lot of money to Southampton. I'm sure they could afford to take the gamble and buy Joe Aribo, but 10 million is certainly a lot of money to the Rangers. And I think it's important that if they are going to sell Joe Aribo, I think they should try and get this deal done as quick as possible and try and get a replacement, try and invest those funds into the squad, because they've got the qualifiers coming up soon for the Champions League. If we're being honest, this transfer window's been a fucking disaster for Rangers. I mean, they've pretty much done nothing. Even players that they're linked with recently, it seems like there's no legs to these moves or whatever. So, yeah, no, I think Rangers, and they definitely need to bring in players. I mean, people can say what they want. They just got to the Europa League final, this and that. But this team is stale. This squad is stale. I think they do need to add, a couple of first-team players at least into the team to freshen things up. So we'll see if Joe Aribo's going to go. It should go now, and Rangers should get that money and get it invested into the team. Who knows? I mean, Lewis Ferguson, I wouldn't quite say he's as good as Joe Aribo, but there was talk of Rangers being interested in Ferguson. Aberdeen apparently want at least a couple of million. I'm sure if Rangers can get 10 for Aribo, then maybe they can reinvest that, and they can put up the money Aberdeen want for Lewis Ferguson. Might not be the kind of quality player you're looking for to replace Aribo, but I guess it's a start, even if it's not Lewis Ferguson. Just get that 10 million in the bank, and then Rangers can take it from there. Anyway, guys, that is it. Joe Aribo looking probably to move to Southampton. I would say by the end of the week. And if it's not Southampton, it'll be somebody else, because Joe Aribo, is a great player, and there will be clubs in from, especially after Rangers get into the Europa League final. If they were looking to cash in on key players, getting to that Europa League final run is probably the best thing they could have done, because, obviously now the players will be held in higher regard. They'll have had more game time on TV and stuff like that, more exposure to, European clubs. And I think it will have boosted quite a lot of Rangers squad-wise in terms of their value. I mean, getting to that Europa League final will definitely have helped. And who knows, maybe they don't even need to bring in a replacement for Joe Aribo. Maybe they've got their replacement there. Hadji, who was out for almost a year, maybe he could come back. Maybe he could take over the role and he could be the new Joe Aribo. We'll have to wait and see. Anyway, guys, that's it. Catch you in the next one. But Joe Aribo could be going to Southampton within the next couple of days for £10 million. If the news is made official, be back with another video. But until then, I'll catch you guys later. Peace.